First thing is first, if I'm going to have a productive musical day, I need an Americano. So we are heading to Starbucks. I noticed that generally I have a more productive studio session if I get an Americano or something like that. Gets my energy going. So I'm gonna get one of those and hopefully that'll wake me up a little bit more. Okay, so I got my Americano. Got the new drip from Kikilo, something like that. So basically what I'm gonna do in this video, I've had a lot of people asking me in DMs recently about getting placements and how I've gotten some of my biggest ones, which they're not even that big. Realistically, I just produce for a lot of people. I don't produce for like huge artists. But so I'm gonna break down like the top 3 and how I got them, because they're all different situations. They all came in a different way. Okay, so the first one I'm going to break down was my placement with Futuristic, which was a song called Oh Blank. DM'd him on Instagram, and I was just like, hey man, I'd like to send beats your way. And he responded. So that's like the most, like kind of surprising that it actually works, but the most like obvious and easiest way to get a placement is just by DMing lots of artists. So I just DM'd him, and he said the email, and then I went and sent a beat to that email, and then he hit me back, and he was like, I want to use this, and he said the percentages, and I was cool with it. So I went in with not really any expectations, because at that point, I was trying to actively work with him. He wasn't trying to work with me. He's a big artist. He has like 400K followers on Instagram and huge following on YouTube. So I was reaching out to him. He was kind of doing me a favor in a way. So I wasn't like expecting like money or anything like that. I was just trying to build a network. And since then, I've produced for 2 other collab joints that he's done with other people. Which it was cool. It was cool to be involved in the album, but the singles have been great too, because it's helped me link with other artists. So yeah, I'll put the link below to the playlist of songs I produced in case you guys want to go peep that. The song was Oh Blank, featuring Moxus, who's really big on YouTube too. But it was cool doing that because it was the stereotypical way that you see in like YouTube video. There's YouTube videos everywhere. They're like how to get placements, and it's generally like DM the artists, get their emails, send them beats, and then a lot of the time that doesn't work. So number 2 was Lincoln by KB. So this is a whole different way I got this placement. So I got connected through a friend to Kardec, who I knew at the time was KB's main producer. I had sent him beats. He forwarded them to KB. I didn't hear anything back for, I think it was like 2 or 3 months. It was quite a while. I had sent beats to someone else, and then that person had wanted to buy the beat, so I talked to them, and I thank God I made sure. I went back to Kardec. I was like, hey man, I didn't hear anything back. I want to sell this beat. He hit me back, and he was like, bro, no, don't sell that beat. I just got, literally a few hours ago, a demo from KB on it. And then he forwarded that to me, and I listened to it, and this man had recorded a whole song. Like, it wasn't like a demo, like, just like a hook. It was like a whole song. It was the whole like 3-minute part at the beginning of the song Lincoln, where there's a big switch up at the end, but like the first 2/3 of the song was my beat at the time. After that, it went through like a few months. I think it was like 4 or 5 months where they were just working on it. It was like a collaboration effort. So I'd sent stems to Kardec, and then he kind of remixed it. Like he put like some better mixing. I wasn't very good at mixing at the time, so he put on some dope mixing on it, and then he hit me back, and he was like, "KB wants to add like a little part at the end of the track." They added a really cool switch up at the end, which was good because it helped it really stand out. And I see a lot of YouTube people kind of crap on the whole collaboration game because a lot of bigger producers do charge for collabs, and I don't have a problem with it. If someone is trying to kind of cling on to what I got going, I've invested in myself, so they need to invest in themselves if they want to build. But that's just my personal opinion. The third one I'm going to talk about is Good to Go Part 2. First one was I got the email, I sent the beat. Second one was I collabed with his producer. The third one, completely different. I was in person with the person, and I was in person with Canon, and we were making the track. So it's just, there's different ways to get placements. Like there's no just set in stone, this is how you get placements. I was tight with Canon. I produced a few other tracks for him. So we were hanging out. I was at his house. He was in kind of like a weird state. He had been doing a bunch of traveling and stuff, so he was just trying to chill, play some video games. And I was like, hey, that's cool. You do video games. I'll chill over here. I'll make a beat. So there was this TV tray, and I had my laptop on it, and I was sitting on a yoga ball. So it's so weird to imagine. But this is how I got one of my biggest placements. I'm sitting on this yoga ball with a TV tray and my laptop. I don't have a mouse or anything. I'm just doing the little pad. I didn't have a mouse till like a few months ago. I was just typing away and using the little trackpad. I'm plugged into, at the time, I believe it was his TV speakers that were around like the thing. I just had aux cable, plugged my laptop in. It was the most like ghetto setup, bro. I was just like, I was on a yoga ball with a TV tray plugged into TV speakers. So he's playing video games. I make the beat in probably 15 minutes. I had been listening to a lot of JID, J-I-D from J. Cole's camp, and I liked the vibe of his song. I don't remember what it's called right now. The one with J. Cole. But so I kind of liked that bounce. So I wanted to do something more upbeat. So I was like making the track, and I was like, I just bumped up the BPM to like, I think it was like 160 something, but I had been lower, and then I went up to like 180. And so I started making the beat. I legit made that beat, and Canon can vouch for this too. I made that beat in like 13 minutes because I was just vibing out. Just didn't want to overthink it. Got the melody from, I think it was Looperman or Splice or something. Kind of like pitched it around a little bit. And then I just threw drums. And then I did what I call the Milli build, which is you have the intro and then you have the beat just loop with drums for 8 bars, and then drums and 808 for 8 bars, and then back to drums, and then drums and 808 for 8 bars. And it's like a very good for just like rapping, rapid fire type track. So I made that beat in legit, I think it was like 13 minutes. It might have been like closer to 15. He's playing like Street Fighter, but he's not very good at it. I had something that came up and I had to go, hopped in my whip and then drove away, started heading back towards where I lived. About 45 minutes later, I get a call and he's like, hey bro, I just emailed you the track, go peep it. I listened, he had recorded the hook, he recorded the whole like 3-minute track at the time before the switch up at the end. It was like 3 minutes of just like rapid fire. And it was called something else at the time. I don't know. It's called like The Greatest or something like that. Something something not as good as Good to Go Part 2. But so he had sent that to me, and I was just like bumping it in my car, and I knew at the time, like as soon as I listened, I was like, people are just gonna eat this up. This is gonna be one of my biggest productions. And I had produced several songs for him at that point. So it was just super cool because it was natural. Where the others I got lucky to get them, and they were cool opportunities. But this one, it was natural. It was a good friend of mine, so it meant more to me watching the success of it, knowing what went into it, and knowing that I benefited from it, but also I have a close personal friend that benefited from it, so it was cool. And we got a lot of good response from it. I've had the most DMs about that song. So yeah, what's the point of this video? I guess the point is there's not really one specific way to get placements. It's just kind of every way is different. You're gonna build different connections in different lanes, and you're just gonna eventually find success as long as you're consistent and you keep working and you treat people well. You'll keep networking with people. That's the biggest key, is just networking. You'll get tight with people, and eventually, if you just keep grinding and your beats are good enough, you'll find success. So